have felt about like this whole COVID thing. Um, I know you guys, a lot of you might be freshmen, but regardless, you had your year cut short. Um, just wanted to ask how you guys feel about all this going on. Yeah. Okay. Is you talking about when COVID hit and things changed? That's what, yeah. I remember hearing that the curriculum or the things got cut back a lot just because it was kind of crazy time. Yeah. I know.
And you can't see anything.
I know. I feel your pain. So half the time I wear glasses, and that I end up having to wear them on the tip of my nose, kind of like an old person, and I have to look out like this. So I feel the pain, and I apologize.
Well, at least I'm not in a 134-degree factory.
Yeah, yeah. So I apologize. I hate these. I hate wearing them. I hate that you can't see facial expressions. It's just weird. I'm gonna have to be careful with sarcasm since you can't see me laughing or anything. Um, yeah, so it's weird. I apologize that it's kind of a mess, and things are kind of crazy, but we're all doing the best we can, and we'll get through it just fine. So again, I want to start with, first I'll jump on Google Classroom. If you guys can get your MacBooks out, I'm going to get you connected to our Google Classroom page. Get that out of the way. Yeah. Where is it? Huh?
They were supposed to fix it. They said come by tomorrow.
You just need to pick it up?
Yeah, pick up an extra one.
Yeah, if you could go ahead and grab that from Mr. Wardinger, that'd be good. So this should pop up. Okay. So you guys all should have access to Google Classroom and get logged in. If you don't have your computer, please write this code down. Make sure you have this code, and just get logged in as soon as you can. Again, Google Classroom, this will be the main way that I'll post assignments, announcements, documents, things like that. So I need you guys to make sure you're checked into this. So you don't have issues getting in. And by the way, I will likely use, thank you, the acronym IED for this class. So if you hear me say IED, that's Intro to Engineering Design. Just so I don't confuse you for a bit. It's just a mouthful to say. So I'll write that. So hopefully you guys are all in there. That way it's just set up. You guys can see, like, I've just posted the syllabus, and so that's kind of what I just want to go through right now. So this class, I actually took this class when I was in high school. It's changed quite a bit. It's been a few years, but I've taken this course myself. My name is Mr. Heinzerling. It's easier to say than it looks. always tell people it's like Heinz ketchup at the grocery store. You just add Erling to the end. But I'm also not going to make you say that every time. You can, by all means, call me Mr. H. That's probably a lot easier, so I'm totally fine with that. There's my email in case you need to shoot me an email. I'm going to have like office hours or kind of tutoring hours, however you want to look at it, just Thursdays. So today, I'm going to stay till 4 after school, just so that I'm available for all my students to come in if they need help with something, or they're stuck on an assignment and they need some help or got questions. I just wanted to reserve some time that hey, I need help from Mr. H. I know Thursday I can come in and get help. Obviously, if you need other help and stuff, you can shoot me an email and come in the morning if you wanted. You can stay a little after school on another day, but that would be something you'd let me know about. Thursday, it's just I'm going to be here. You can just walk in if you need help. Even though I'll be there. This class, the title is pretty self-explanatory. I just put like the general description in here. This is kind of an introduction to what engineering is, what an engineer actually does, what engineering means. And the design part is kind of the foundation of engineering. That's the core part, the main thing that an engineer does. And so that's the in a nutshell, what we'll be doing. Some of the materials you'll need. There's certain materials that we ordered in, they just haven't got here yet, so that'll be coming. That Project Lead the Way notebook, that's coming yet. You'll need your computers. I can't guarantee every day, but you need to have it every day. We'll use them all the time. We have access to a 3D printer. I'm working on getting that set up and figured out with the other tech people in the district. A spreadsheet application, you have a Google account, so you'll have access to Google Sheets. There'll be times when we'll need to do system calculations, and having like a spreadsheet is the best way to do that. Anyone know what CAD means or stands for? Anyone? It's all right. CAD is computer-aided drafting or computer-aided design. It's a 3D modeling software. That's kind of the main component that we're going to use, the main tool. So the program is Autodesk. If you heard of Autodesk, they're a really big name in kind of engineering software. And the software we're going to use for the class is called Fusion 360. You guys will have free access to that, being students. I'm going to get you an account for that, but that's coming up. And then headphones sounds odd because you can't have headphones in the school, but for this class, that will be an exception. There will be a lot of things where there's curriculum and videos to watch before starting a lesson. So rather than 20 videos playing out of sync at the same time, we're going to utilize those headphones just for those clips, and then after that, you can put them away and work on that activity. So the software, like I mentioned, this is a link to like a instructional PDF on how to actually get that in. We're going to wait on those accounts and software. I'm really trying to figure out how to set this class up the best in terms of the software, because I really don't know if we're going to be able to stay in person and kind of do school and class like normal like this. And so I'm trying to prepare for the eventuality that we might get shut down and have to go virtual. I wanted you guys to still have access to the software. So ideally, I'd put it on your student devices. My fear is CAD software is kind of intensive to run and to function properly, and I don't know if these computers have kind of the specs to do that. I'm still trying to figure that out. So that's why I'm kind of just holding off, and we won't even use that software directly for a bit. But just so you know, we have a mobile laptop lab. Unfortunately, there's not enough devices even for this class itself. I think there's only like 16 or 18 in there. So I'm trying to figure out kind of how to get the tech ready for you guys. So just wait on that. We won't even use that software for a bit. But just wanted to let you guys know. The grading, so just basic in-class work and homework, that'll be 20%. Engineering is very project-based, so we're going to have a lot of projects. Handful will be individual, but a lot will be collaborative. Collaboration and like team development, team projects, that's the norm. That's what you would do in engineering, in industry. So we'll get a lot of experience with that. And then tests and stuff, there's 4 main units. So we'll have at least a unit on each test, and I might have an additional test on maybe the software, how to making a 3D modeling test. But just wanted you guys to know kind of the breakdown. Late work and stuff, I am going to accept late work, but for half credit. So if you turned it in after the day it was due, you'll get half credit for what you get. But I'm going to accept that all the way up through the grading period, basically the quarter. So the first grading quarter ends October 7th. So if I sign something before then, you have until October 7th to get it to me, and I'll grade it and give you half credit for that. I listed the grading periods out just so that they're there and transparent for you guys. And test retakes, if you want to retake a test, if you didn't do as well as you thought, or just had a bad day and had a bad test day, I understand that happens. By all means, you can come retake that within a week of when it was assigned or given initially. What I need you guys to do is you need to come let me know that you want to retake it. I need you guys to take responsibility. One, turning in late work, you should, if you turn that in, that should be on you. I'm not going to be here reminding you like, hey, you don't have an assignment in, you should turn that in. I need you guys to take responsibility. And a retake, especially, you need to initiate that and say, hey, Mr. H, I bombed this test. I know I can do better. I need to retake that. When can I come in and do that? And we'll coordinate a time together, figure something out, and then get you going on a retake. And I'm going to give you the score that you get on your retake. I won't give you the best. Well, I will. In the unfortunate case, if you retake and do worse, I'll give you your better score. But if you do better, I'm going to give you that new score. And also, just in case you're thinking this way, I hope not, it's going to be a completely different test. It'll be the same content, but it'll be completely different questions. So don't be thinking, I'll just bomb the first one, get the answers, and then go back and retake it and ace it. I'm not going to risk that happening. I want it to be an authentic test of what you guys know and what you've learned. General expectations. I need you guys to come prepared to class, same way that I'm going to be coming prepared, ready to teach, ready for the day. I know you guys might have bad days or you're tired. I need you to give me what you got. I can't ask anything more than that, but I just need you to come and work, especially since we only meet an hour and a half every other day. I'm really big on respecting others and respecting the classroom. We won't have a lot of chem labware stuff that's really dangerous, but we still have our computers and a lot of equipment we'll get. So I need you to be respectful of that and really respect others, especially like when you do group work and stuff, and you guys to work together. The school-wide policy is no cell phones. Put them away. I don't want to see them. So put them in your backpack, keep them in your pocket. Just keep them away. I don't want that to be an issue. If it does, you'll head to the office and have a chat with them real quick. I just don't want that to be an issue at all. We got a lot of work to do. Again, no food or drink. The only exception is a water bottle with water in it. So please don't be bringing Starbucks in. I'm going to make you throw it away before you start class. Hopefully that's not an issue. If you're gone and you miss stuff, I need you to come to me. And I can't keep track of a couple hundred kids when they're absent and what they need to make up. I need you guys to shoot me an email like, hey, I wasn't able to come to school today, what I missed today, or hey, Mr. H, I was gone last class, what did I miss, what do I need to make up? And I'll let you know, get you squared away, and then, you can carry on with the day like normal. But I need you guys to take that responsibility to come to me. And then cheating and stuff, I kind of talked about that already. I'm not going to tolerate it. I don't want to see it. I just need you guys to step up and be adults and kind of do your own work and take responsibility for that, and just practice good ethics, which is actually a big part of our curriculum and engineering itself. So those are just expectations that I wanted to run through quick. The rest of this I'm not going to go through. I copy-pasted Project Lead the Way's quick summaries of this whole class and everything we're going to do. I will go over, there's 4 main units for the class. Unit 1, design and problem solving. So this will be introduction to what do we mean when we talk about design and engineering, and then problem solving skills. That's kind of the underlying skill that engineers do as part of their jobs. Yes?
About that food thing, is the food allowed to be in your backpack as long as you're not taking it out during class?
Correct. Yeah, you can have granola bars in your backpack. It's just I don't want to see it, and you obviously can't be eating it. So yeah, that's totally okay. And then these lessons, that's not like day 1, it's just the first main chunk of that unit. And so that's broken down. I'm going to let you guys look through that on your own time. I don't want to sit here and read a Word document to you. The second unit is assembly design. Assemblies are when you make different parts and then you put them together, and now you have multiple parts in one drawing or one design. Those are what one an assembly is. And there's lots of aspects to making assemblies. Unit 3, this is where thoughtful product design, this is where you start to kind of hone your skill as an engineer. Anybody could design this product to meet this need, but there are good ways and bad ways to design it and accomplish that. And so this unit is talking about refining and improving how you design things and how you think about engineering and design. In Unit 4, we're going to add motion and constraints to designs. So talking a little bit, we'll do a little bit of electrical systems, a little bit mechanical systems. And you can do a lot of things in CAD, the software. And we're going to just kind of step into that just a little bit, at least give you a taste of what the software can do. There's a lot of things that you can test and do in the software, and that we'll get into, especially in that last unit, looking at forces, automation, and motion in general. But I'll let you guys look through those and kind of read up, and so you have a sense of what this class is and what kind of things we're going to be doing. But I will let you guys do that later. The next thing I want to do, I could have started with this, but that's all right. I want to take a little bit of time and just tell you guys about myself, just so that I'm not some guy with a name teaching you guys. I want you to know a little bit about me. Again, my name is Mr. Heinzerling. So I actually have a mechanical engineering degree. I graduated from University of Iowa, and I have my bachelor's in mechanical engineering degree. I'm not an engineer because when I was doing interviews and jobs, I found a personal difference in what an engineer actually does as a job and the engineering curriculum and content that I've been studying for 4 years. Most of engineering is design work. Doing what we're going to be doing is designing parts, working in a software, coming up with solutions. And it was hard for me to realize that that meant my job would be at a computer in an office for near 8 hours a day for maybe 40 years. That personally wasn't how I wanted my career to go. I wanted a lot more interaction with people, a lot more collaboration and teamwork. outside of just a computer. So that was kind of a tough transition to realize that's not what I wanted for my career personally. And so I still loved physics. I loved math. So I took a gap year and realized that teaching is a way for me to use like my skills, my backgrounds in a context that I really enjoy, working with people, working with students. And so that's why I ended up doing my master's, physics and math education. I also did that at University of Iowa. A lot of you guys might know friends or siblings that graduated last year during COVID. I also graduated during COVID from a master's. So I was student teaching, and everything got shut down. My student teaching just ended, and there was nothing else I could do with it. I had classes still that I had to take via Zoom, so that was weird. So I've experienced that weird transition from shutdown to now we've got to jump online and try and figure this out. So I had the unfortunate experience of doing that as well. So that was weird. I have a picture of my family. So I have just one sibling. So this is my mom and dad, and this is my sister. This was at her wedding. This is now my brother-in-law Sawyer. They got married in October, and so I only have one sister. She's 2 years younger than me. They live in Cedar Rapids. It's near Iowa City, which is the east part of Iowa. And Marissa, she works in Collins Aerospace. They make like avionics equipment, a lot of electronics for airplanes and stuff, but she works on the business side, doing kind of supply chain management and working with suppliers. Sawyer's a graphic designer. He works for a company that does a lot of marketing and advertisement and development for universities. So actually he did a lot of like logo work and also flyers and marketing for Indiana Wesleyan University, which was kind of neat to figure out after I'd met him and that I'm out here. So I just want to introduce my family. Our family grew again because I just got married a couple weeks ago. So I got married during COVID. It was weird. This was when we proposed. This is my wife, Landry. We got married mid-July. It was kind of interesting because as we were planning and COVID hit, the state was shut down to like half capacity out in public. And so we were at the point of we could only have 120 people at our wedding and reception venue, and we invited 250. So we were at the point of having to uninvite people from our wedding. But thankfully they opened the state back up and we just had to do distancing stuff. So our wedding was fairly normal for what we planned. We just had to assign seats by family and social distance. We had to serve the food rather than having a buffet. So that was kind of interesting that it was an issue a little bit, but not bad. So we actually just moved to the area a couple weeks ago after we got married. The reason that I'm in Indiana, you might be wondering. So my wife, Landry, she's got one more year at Indiana Wesleyan. She studies music therapy, so she's got another semester and then an internship. And so that's kind of what has brought me here to kind of Gas City in the area. And so we're excited to be here, and I'm excited to be here. So a little bit about me. So this used to be my car and used to be my motorcycle. This was the car that I bought when I was 16 in high school, and I just sold it in December. And so it was a sad day because I'm pretty nostalgic, and it was almost 10 years that I owned that car. So that was kind of sad. And then my bike I bought when I started my master's. I had learned how to ride dirt bikes and stuff in college, and I always wanted one and finally saved up enough. Sadly, I had to sell that when we moved out here, so that was definitely a bummer. You need to head out for something?
Yeah, he said to come back down if the password you put in doesn't work. He said, "I'll reset it."
Okay. Do you have to do that right now?
Yeah, I mean, if I want to walk into the classroom and get all that stuff set up.
I mean, what I'll have you do is stay here and just write that. So I put the code up there and just jot that down. Because then when you get home, you can take just a minute or two and throw that code in. But as long as you have that code, you'll have access to that. So yeah, that was really sad that I had to sell that. I just didn't have a way to get it here. So that was a bummer. I loved riding. That's another picture of my bike. I really like cars and motorcycles. That's a really big hobby and passion of mine. When I was in elementary school. What's that?
That'd be a nice part of it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever gonna get it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably worth more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime. Does anyone know what this is?
Koenigsegg.
Yeah. Koenigsegg.
Koenigsegg.
Do you remember it from when I said it?
That was from Sweden.
Sweden, yep. Yeah, so
Koenigsegg 1-1.
yeah, that's the
Or the
next model. This is the Agera R, yeah. So I really like cars, and so I wanted to show this. That's a big hobby and passion of mine. When I was in elementary school, I'd sit at the bus stop and just name cars as they drove by. So just like recognizing models and makes. And then in high school, I really got into kind of the supercar manufacturers, automotive news. I was really following new models, especially having my engineering background and interest. I really love all the technology that's getting put into supercars, and how it starts up top at luxury brands like this and then filters down into cars that normal people would be able to own. I really like that technology development, and seeing how they're making technology to increase performance and efficiency, but then how that actually comes into play for the standard consumer.
I like the doors on it. I like how they open.
Yeah, they have a patent on how they open. So anyway, that's like a personal interest that I wanted to share. You'll probably hear me talk about cars related to engineering and design a lot. That's just a big passion of mine. And again, if there's ever downtime or whatever, you want to talk cars or motorcycles, like feel free. I'd love to talk about those and just news and stuff. This Koenigsegg is a Swedish manufacturer. The guy that started it started it like 20-some years ago, just out of nowhere, and now they're like one of the most renowned supercar manufacturers in the world. I don't have the exact statistic, but this car had set a world record. It went from standstill to 186 mile an hour and back to a stop in, I think it was 30 seconds. And that was a record. The model they released after this then beat that world record. One of their models hit 273 mile an hour. I mean, they're amazing what these cars can do, and so that's what I really like, that the capabilities and all the engineering and the work that they have to do. Another cool thing about Koenigsegg is they built and developed their engine themselves in-house. It's not like a Ford motor that they souped up. It's all theirs, and it's twin turbocharged. They actually 3D print the turbochargers out of titanium, and so they model it, and then they literally send it to a 3D printer, hit print, it prints the turbo, and they take it and install it. The 3D printing process prints even the turbines that spin inside. It can print that individually. You don't have to assemble it. You don't have to do the halves and the blades and then assemble it. It prints it all together. And it's really amazing to see, again, the technology, the engineering that actually serves a purpose and meets the real world. Yeah. Yeah, you can 3D print metal now. That's what they do. It's, I think, laser sintering. It's like a tray in metal powder, and they have a high temp laser that hits certain spots and melts those particles together, and it does like a lap, and then drops a little bit, and then does another lap, drops a little bit, and keeps going. That's how they 3D print in metal and 3D print your part. It's just layer by layer. And 3D printing will be a big part of this class, additive manufacturing. So I'll talk a lot about that and figure out, typically we'll do plastic, and I think we will have the chance to do that as well. but it's really cool. So I'm pretty sure. And then the one-to-one.
All they did was just add maps.
Yeah, and the one-to-one obviously beat that. But so another personal. So I really love the show The Office. I have The Office and Parks and Rec in here. Those are two of my favorite shows. I don't know if this is something to brag about, or if it's just sad. I've seen this show beginning to end at least a dozen times. Granted, over the past few years, but I've watched this show a lot. I love it. I have friends that really enjoy it, and so we love quoting things or hearing a phrase and then referencing the episode that connects to it. I really love Office trivia. I've done a couple trivia competitions just for fun. So I guess if we ever have downtime, that could be something you guys could do trivia for me and see if you can stump me, because I really like the trivia. Both the shows, I think I'm partial to The Office just because that's the first show I watched, so I'm a little biased towards it.
My dad's favorite joke is called flipping through the channels.
Oh, really?
I'm sitting in the front of my what do you flip the channels for? There's literally nothing on the water.
Yeah. So that's kind of all I just wanted to give a little bit of info on kind of about me, just so that you know a little bit more about me. Do you have questions that you want to ask me, that you want to know kind of about me, that I might not have talked about at all? Yeah.
Could you give me advice about mechanical engineering? Because I wanted to do either architect or mechanical.
Yeah.
I can't decide between that or electrical engineering.
Yeah, there's a lot of disciplines in engineering. I mean, this class will be a good exposure. This is fairly standard in engineering, like industrial or mechanical, even biomedical, the modeling aspect. So you'll get a sense for the design, the CAD, and see if that's something you really like, going towards mechanical, industrial. Architectural is sort of the same, but a different purpose. If you don't, like I know electricals, that they won't really use this a whole lot.
I'm just taking this to find out, if I really like what they do.
Yeah, and of course, throughout the year, be asking me questions as specific things come up. I can give you pointers and tell you about like my experience. I've never worked in industry, but I've done a research and development internship at DZ Manufacturing. They are based out of Des Moines, Iowa, and they make like running boards and toolboxes, floor liners, things like that for the automotive industry. That was almost exclusively design work. And then my senior year, I did a senior design project with John Deere. So one of their front loaders got a new engine, and so our task was to redevelop the belt drive system on the front and place all the new components. And so that was a really good experience of the actual design process and an actual project that was implemented at John Deere. So a sample of what they would actually do. So throughout the year, I can, if you guys are interested, I can tell you more about that experience and what exactly it was, to give you guys hopefully a better glimpse of what an engineer would actually do. Because there's a lot of content, again, 4 years of school to become an engineer, but then engineering, it's sometimes a very specific application of that curriculum. And so I can share my advice and experience with kind of how that went. Any other questions for me? Yes. Favorite car brand? So I really have a hard time with that question. I'm not biased. I'm not like a Ford guy or a Chevy guy or a Mustang guy. I like all cars and the different things they do. If I was forced to pick, I would probably say Koenigsegg. All of their models have been amazing, and I think I'm pretty partial to them and their backstory. They're cool. They have a ghost logo that's not their company's logo in every one of their cars, and it's in honor of the Swedish Air Force that was decommissioned and shut down. Their company is based out of their warehouse in a hangar, and so they have that ghost to kind of honor that Air Force and that division. And so there's weird things, but Koenigsegg would probably be my favorite. But others like Pagani, I really like. Lamborghinis and Ferraris, obviously, and then Bugatti, just because it's an amazing car. I'll probably talk about that a lot, just with engineering feats. Yeah. Dirt bikes, nothing fancy. The one I learned on was a like Yamaha TTR, like a little 125. Yeah, so that was a good starter. But then the family that I learned from, they have 9 kids, and all the boys they race competitively. So they had I can't remember the model. They're Honda, I think YZF 250Rs or something. They were pretty hardcore bikes, like real high strung. So I got to ride those a couple times. That they have a lot of property. So I learned on the TTR, and then eventually once I got comfortable, started riding their race bikes. And
Broke my TTR doing burnout.
yeah, we didn't do anything that crazy, so thankfully we didn't break nothing. But any other questions about me that you might want to know? Yeah.
How old are you?
How old am I? Well, that car I bought when I was 16 and almost had it a decade.
26.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yes. Favorite food? Can I give you like a type of food? Probably Asian food. So I really love like Asian buffets. I love sushi. Like kind of lo mein. Those are my kind of favorites. Peanut butter chicken. Has everybody had peanut butter chicken? It's like a tempura fried chicken, and then they have like a peanut like satay or sauce that they
I've heard of it, but I've never had it.
like ground peanut or peanut oil. That's a big part of Asia. It's really good. So that'd probably be my favorite. Yeah.
Do you have any pets?
Nope, no pets. Growing up, I had a dog. She was half chocolate lab, half German short hair, but she got real old.
I got a box.
Gotcha. Yeah.
There's I forgot where, but there's like this Chinese restaurant up at Walmart. They have really good sharks there. You should probably try it.
Oh, really? In Gas City or
Marion.
Marion? Okay, cool. Yeah, I still don't know the area very well, so I'm learning. Sports, I know that a lot of people ask me that. I don't follow any sports. I don't spend the time NFL, NBA, nothing. I'll watch every once in a while, but I really love to play sports. I did baseball for a few years, but basketball, football up until 8th grade. My high school sports were really weird. Freshman year, I did golf and wrestling for the first time in my life. Just tried them out. I have a lot of respect for wrestlers. Wrestling practices and workouts were absolutely insane. So I have a lot of respect for wrestlers. I love to golf. It was fun to do that as a sport because that'll be something I can do later. I did nothing 10th grade, and then my junior, senior, I did tennis. I really enjoyed that a lot. And again, another just hobby now of mine is kind of playing tennis every once in a while. Yeah. So that's kind of my sports background. I think that's about it. Yeah.
What weight class did you wrestle in high school?
152. Yeah. So it was funny because when I showed up first day, I didn't know what a weight class was or what it meant. So I just told them my weight. I was like, 150. He's like, okay, we'll put you in 152. And then turned out that I understood and then learned you couldn't surpass that weight. And thankfully, I didn't have to cut weight ever. My weight was super stable. Yeah, so I really lucked out because another guy, my weight, he dropped down, I think it was 145. He was in a sweatsuit every practice, trying to cut weight all the time.
I was at 130. That's what I have to do.
Yeah, I hate hearing the crazy stories of like people eat like a pack of saltines for the day.
Or spitting a buck on the way to the meet.
Yeah, like I don't like that extreme stuff, but there's a lot of discipline in wrestling. So I lucked out. I picked, the perfect weight class for me. So, but it was a tough weight class too, but it was good.
I was gonna do wrestling, but I eat a lot, and I figured since you have to be like a certain weight to even wrestle, if you go like anywhere over it, you can't.
Right. And that was the other thing. I didn't have to change my diet at all, which again I was super thankful for. But yeah, it gets really kind of picky. But yep.
What was your lower score for 9 in 13 hours?
Oh gosh. For 9, I think I started at like mid 60s, and then I got down to mid 40s by the end of the school year. So that was pretty awesome. But I was starting from no training, no practice to actually practice.
My lowest score is for 1875, and my lowest for 9 holes is 36.
That's impressive. That's good.
That's the only time I only can shoot that on a good day.
Okay. The other thing that I wanted to, I don't have a lot planned for today. I'm gonna give you guys some just free time, especially first day, and then we'll get things going next week. Because again, I won't see you guys till Monday. Just to reiterate, it's every other day, so we won't have this class until Monday. What I want to do is, let's see. And again, I'm recording the screen right now because there's some kids that are taking this virtually. Oh wow, that's kind of weird. It's infinite. There's a name for that. What is that called? Not a tessellation. It's a pattern like you're pointing out that repeats, but every time you zoom in, the pattern's still there. All right, this is a little off topic, but because tessellation, I think, is you repeat the same pattern to make a single image. Fractal, that's the term that I'm looking for. So it's the same pattern that gets smaller and smaller, but it's infinite. So every time you zoom in, you can see more of that same pattern, and you just keep zooming in. Sorry, that was super off topic, but so I'm recording the screen because there's a couple kids, actually quite a few, that are taking this class virtually, and so instead of just dumping them to an online curriculum, I'm gonna post like my in-class classes, and then a lot of the Project Lead the Way. We're gonna get you guys set up probably Monday on Project Lead the Way. You'll have an account, so you can log in, and it has like its own classroom environment that has all the lessons and like activities and videos. So it'll be really nice and structured, and then that'll just be kind of in addition to what we're going to be talking about in class and stuff. And so I'm going to get that to them, and that's kind of what I'm doing. Yeah.
I love PLCW. I used to do it with Miss Williamson.
Okay.
Who did like 3D printing and designing with nuts and bolts and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, and PLTW, like, I've taken this class when I was in high school, so they've had a lot of experience kind of refining and improving the curriculum, and so it is really solid. But anyway, what I want to do is show you an example of the software. Basically what Fusion 360 is. Well, that's what I'm trying to, like you're talking about your MacBook?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could. It would just hesitate on like complex features or assemblies.
It would be very laggy.
Yeah, I can run it fine on this. The only problem is I have 8 gig of RAM. Your guys' devices have 4, which. So typically, just a little bit of insight. CAD software is really like the professional grade stuff. It's really intensive in terms of the computer it requires to run. So I mean, it's not uncommon for like a professional engineer, their computer to have like 32 gig of RAM, a dedicated graphics card with 8 gig of RAM, probably a solid state hard drive. So notoriously, the high-end stuff is difficult to run and do everything that it needs to. This software is actually really good at running on very low specs. Like, this is nothing fancy, but I can still run it and make stuff. And so, like I mentioned, that's part of what I'm trying to figure out is how I can get the software to you guys in a way that hopefully will accommodate the potential case where we go virtual. And so just be patient as I kind of sort through that. Yeah.
I was going to do virtual this year, but my mom knows like nothing about chemistry and engineering, so
Gotcha.
I'm in here just to get started on it.
Yeah. And again, if the school gets shut down, unfortunately, we will have to switch to virtual, but I'll still be your guys' teacher. And so I'll help you guys make that adjustment, and we'll figure out what that might look like. It might be a set time that we'll have class, and you might join in with like Google Meet. Otherwise, a lot of the stuff you can do online, and so that'll help in that eventuality. But what I want to show you is just that this is kind of. Hi there. Okay. Thank you very much. Javante, is he here or not? No, he's not? Okay. So I'm going to just show you, I want to show you the software just so you guys have a casual look at what it is and what we're going to be doing. Don't worry about all the buttons and the features. We're going to spend a lot of time learning this software, what it does, how it works, what you can do with it. I just want to show you some of the cool things that you can do with it, and just talk a little bit about what we're mainly going to be using. So Fusion 360 is a nice program. It's very clean and well laid out. The other nice thing is this is linked. I'm going to get you guys an Autodesk account as a student, and that'll give you free access to download this software on your computer. When you go in, you'll notice I'm logged in to this program. So this program is cloud-based. The really nice thing is that the files and the things you make, the parts you make, the assemblies, all of them, they're saved in the cloud. That means, say we use the mobile laptops, you log in to open the program, log into your account, you can access your part file, you can work on it and save it, and then log out, put it away. School gets shut down, so tomorrow you want to work on your part, you could, if it works, open the program on your MacBook, log in, your part's still there. You can pick up right where you left off. So that's a great feature that I definitely didn't have in high school. So that's a kind of a big piece to this. Another aspect to any CAD software, you will really, really want a mouse to work with the software. You can do this with a touchpad, but you lose a lot of functionality. So translating, moving left to right, I have to click the center wheel. I can't do that on the trackpad. I think you have to you can't even, you would have to slide. And so then when you access extra menus, you can't do that on the trackpad. Right clicking is kind of hard on that, so that's one thing I recommend. We have a bunch in here for the mobile lab. If we go virtual, hopefully you guys have access to one like mine. I like the cheap basic ones. It's like $5. But that's just kind of a weird quirk about all CAD software, is that you pretty much need a mouse. Do you have a question?
I have concerns about virtual learning. What if this thing doesn't work on our computer? What would we do about the assignments?
Because I can't search things up. I can only go on things on my computer that I have bookmarked. And
Like you don't have internet access?
No, like I can't search up Google on my computer without it saying it's locked and restricted.
That sounds like something you'd have to ask tech about. I would definitely bring that into Mr. Wardinger and ask him.
Last year trying to fix it. I got it, but it still didn't work. It did the same thing.
Yeah, that sounds like something you'd have to ask tech about. So I would just be patient with that. So go figure. My computer's acting up today. All right, now it's Mrs. Schrock. She just got married. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. See if I can restart it. Yeah, I think it is. I've also got a lot open on my computer right now.
So would you recommend mechanical engineering out of different engineering classes?
That's really up to the person and what you're interested in. Like I had no interest in the electric aspect and the circuitry, the software. I didn't like any of that, so I'm not doing computer or not doing electrical. No interest really in the biomedical, and then that pretty much left like the civil, environmental, mechanical, and industrial. And to me, I love cars, and so I originally was going to go to the automotive industry, so mechanical was the best choice. It's really dependent on the person and your personal interests and what you want to do for a career. So,
I know, I think it's General Motors, they have a couple of engineers, like electric engineers. Do they have mechanical?
oh yeah, they would have almost predominantly mechanicals because their mechanical is a little bit of like the jack of all trades, and they're kind of the ones that would make parts, tires and wheels, bodywork, chassis, engine.
Like all the racks in the parking lots and stuff.
Yeah, and I know there's like a FCA plant around here, isn't there? The Fiat Chrysler. Is that correct? I don't know if it's. No. Just in the surrounding area. It might actually. What? Yeah, Kokomo, I think it is. That's about half hour away. Yeah. Yep. So that would be like. There's a lot of engineers there. Okay.
I've just always been interested in engineering because, most of the stuff designed and built is from engineering.
So I don't know what it's going on. So I guess I want to show you at least what the interface looks like. Just so that you can kind of see all the stuff you can do. And this will be overwhelming. That's normal. Don't worry about it. It's just I want to show you kind of what kinds of stuff you can do, what it looks like. It's really cool how closely you can model an actual part, an actual assembly in the software. You can obviously set your dimensions to be this model is the exact same dimensions. It's a meter tall. You settle that in the software. There's a lot of capabilities and a lot of unique things that the software helps you and lets you do. So that is an extrude. You make a 2D sketch and you basically pull it and make it 3D, and that's how you generally make objects. There's a lot of different views, a lot of really helpful features in the software that let you, okay, I know what I want to make and what it's supposed to look like. I just need the software to do it so that I have that part. And there's a lot of things that help you do that and make it a lot easier. Yeah, it'll be overwhelming. This is pretty advanced. We're going to do really basic stuff to start. And the big part is just learning the software, learning how to do things. There is. It is. That's one of the hardest parts is actually figuring out the software. There's a lot it can do, but it's tricky to learn it and, again, translate what you want to make and how you want to make it, what you have in your head, and actually getting it onto a model and a file. That will kind of be a big frustration because it's not just I think it and it's here. It's I think it, I've got it. I don't know how to make that happen. I don't know what button I click to, make the sphere or, how to make these drawings, things like that. But yeah, it's amazing. You can assign materials to your parts. You can say this is made out of aluminum and assign that material. It knows the density of aluminum. It knows the volume of the part you just designed, so you can just have it calculate how much does this weigh? What's the mass of this object? It says, okay, the density of aluminum is blank. Your part that you made according to your dimensions is this many, cubic centimeters. Here you go. It can calculate center of mass, volume, all that stuff. So there's a lot of power to this. Again, like someone was asking about assemblies, you can make individual parts. Like a skateboard, you can make the nut, the bolt, the threads. You can make the truck, you can make the wheels, and then the board, and then make an assembly file where you pull all those parts in and attach them together, and now you've built a skateboard out of all your individual parts that you designed. So that's a really, really cool thing about the software. You can make all these individual components and then put them together to actually make a product or something useful, kind of like what they're doing here. You can make individual screws, like a Phillips screw or a Torx screw. You can make that and then virtually screw in, the skateboard deck to the truck itself. Like you can do that in this software, and it's just really cool.
Now I can really much understand why professional engineers would use this, because you can basically design almost anything.
Right. Yeah. There's tremendous capability in kind of what you can do. So again, I apologize that my program wasn't working because I could have shown you a couple parts that I've made. But yeah, that was just one small, sub-assembly of, an actual product that you can put together. So again, don't be overwhelmed with that. That's super complicated. We're going to start with the basics and learn, how do I make a cube. That you start with the basics and make that, and then you slowly learn all the different things that you can do. Does anybody have questions about kind of the class, the software, anything in general? Yeah.
What platform are you using for your 3D printing?
3D printer, I'm almost positive you can run from Fusion 360. From my experience with 3D printers, typically they just need a specific file type. So you would make your model in Fusion 360 and just save it, and then save it as a specific part file, and then you send that to the 3D printer. and it understands that model and can print that. So it's a pretty easy translation. And then our specific 3D printer I haven't seen yet or worked yet, but that's something that there might be a certain software you have to load it into, but that should be easy. So.
I forgot what type of software this one used, but it wasn't nothing fancy, but you could still build stuff, and we built like I forgot what it was, but we built all types of things on there.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of capability to it. Any other questions? Anything at all? Alright, well, I'm going to try and reboot this, and I might show you just a couple more basic things that I've done. Otherwise, I intentionally planned today to be a light day. I didn't want to really jump in to anything yet, so you guys can, I guess, enjoy this time to just hang out, work on other work, things like that. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Go ahead. Huh? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. You want to just like hop? There should be outlets along the wall, so you can just hop on near one of those. Yes. Do you just need to drop it off for them?
Yeah, he said it takes like 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah, if you do that and then come right back before the bell. I'll let you guys use phones just today, all right? Since I don't have anything planned for you, I will give you guys a treat today and let you guys use your phone.